Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Well, one more play-in game until we finally get to the playoffs. But what we saw last night was the best of one of the most scrutinized players in the NBA. And tonight, we get one of the MVP finalists trying to play his squad into the postseason. What it do, everyone? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, joined by our quarterback, Ned James. Bobcat is producing. Of course, you can catch the show as well on ProView Networks. J. Pole, Mr. Brown, back in the studio holding it down. Look at that. They're like, we don't have 800 high school basketball games, too, so let's come out and hang with the opening drive.
Yeah.
In the morning, but good day to everyone. Excited to be with you this morning, and we got to start with what happened last night. The Eastern Conference, well, they haven't really made things exciting when it comes to the play-in games. A 142-115 win for the Wizards over the Pacers as they advance, and they will be the 8th seed as a postseason bracket is set in the East. Of course, Boston won that first 7-8 matchup. They are the 7th seed taking on Brooklyn, and Washington will play Philadelphia. But what we saw last night was the best of Russell Westbrook, and he is one of those players that so many people just question in this game. I like Russell Westbrook. I think when we talk about athletes and players, so many people say sometimes that they don't feel these guys care like they used to. You know, load management, taking nights off, etc. Well, that's not Russell Westbrook. At times, maybe he does a little bit too much. He tries to just out-athlete everyone, and he's been able to do that. But what we saw last night, Russell Westbrook, in 33 minutes, he had 18 points, 15 assists, 8 rebounds. But what stood out to me is he only took 1 3-point shot. That was a Westbrook that was in control of his game, said, hey, I need to set everyone up, which he's very good at doing, not take a ton of shots, and be the best version of myself. And that's what I like about Russell Westbrook. Yes, at times he's not the most efficient basketball player. You can feel like he's trying to do a little bit too much offensively, but he has the attitude, he has the effort that you want to see from players at the highest level. And you're talking to this Wizards team that was down and out. Like, you thought they were throwing in the towel. They were trading for Russell Westbrook. They still had Bradley Beal. We were just waiting for them to trade Bradley Beal, and they didn't. They were in 13th place at one point in time. Now, yes, the Wizards are still 4 games below 500. But they turned it around to the point where they got to the postseason. And a big part of that is Russell Westbrook and the energy that he brings and people feeding off of Westbrook. And if he plays a game like that, now I'm spouting off my love for Russell Westbrook, and yeah, they're going to lose to Philadelphia in the first round. It's going to happen. And Washington is probably going to lose that series in 5 games. But they can steal a game because Westbrook and Beal are that good together. But it was a moment where you saw Russ playing to his best potential. And what's fascinating now, going into the series against Philadelphia, is you have 2 players, like you have a Ben Simmons, who doesn't shoot, and yet people will scream he needs to shoot more, but he understands that's not the best part of my game. I'm not going to do that just to do it. And then you have Russell Westbrook who shoots, and then people say he shoots too much. So you have these 2 guys that are still trying to hone in and be the best version of themselves, now going head-to-head. But when you see Russ put it all together, he is fun, and Washington left no doubt last night.
Yeah, you just watched Wes cook, is what everybody likes to say. But last night, I just thought he just out-physicaled those guards from Indiana. And Indiana surprised me because they played so well the first round matchup. And then they get into this game, and it just looked like a totally different team. Even Brook Lopez, who's not that good, looked pretty good against them with his little baby hook shot. But Westbrook, was just a man amongst boys, particularly in the paint. I mean, he just had his way, going to the goal on these guys. And I thought it was interesting how, they thought Brogdon was the only guy that could guard him, but they kept switching the other guys on him, and he would just back those guys down and just had his way with them. And so, it was a compliment to Westbrook because he just looked, that shot of him going into the locker room just looking, dejected after that first loss a couple days ago, and then, being able to come back from that and play the way he did it's just a testament to the person he is. A lot of people are critical of Westbrook and what he's gone through and where he's been, and all the different teams that he's been on, and the fact that they haven't been able to get a championship with him on the team. But it doesn't. You can't disregard the guy's play, the physicality of his play, the exceptional ability to just go into any game and be that dude. I mean, you got to be a special guy when you're going into an NBA game with lots of talented players and you're the guy everybody's trying to, kind of hone in on. And so he did that last night, and as a result, the Wizards are moving on.
Yeah, I like Russell Westbrook. There are definitely things about his game which you can be critical of, but I think last night you saw the best of Russell Westbrook. He only took one 3-point shot. He didn't shuck up a lot of shots. He, as you said, attacked the rim. He's still a physical presence, and when he is doing that, he is one of the top players in this game still. And Bradley Beal, even not being 100%, having a really good game. The Wizards are fun to watch, but now they get the Philadelphia 76ers, the 1 seed, and that's what you get from the play-in game. You either get to play the 2 seed or the 1 seed in whatever conference you're in. And tonight, it is one of the 3 MVP finalists, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors taking on Memphis, which I think is going to be a really fun game.
Yeah.
With Ja Morant and company, the Grizzlies, we just saw this past week, and I'm still all in on the Warriors. I think they get it done, but it should be much more exciting than what we saw in the Eastern Conference last night. And unfortunately, more times than not, I think some of these play-in games, if this is something the NBA keeps moving forward, are going to end up like that. Have some crazy scores, because we're still talking about the 9th and 10th place teams in the bracket playing a game and then moving forward, because the play-in tournament wasn't made for LeBron James and Steph Curry. That ain't happening again. It was made for Ja Morant and Zion Williamson.
But boy, I tell you, got viewers to the television.
Yes.
And it's for superstars. Mm-hmm. Every team's got a superstar. So the NBA just plays up the superstar.
Absolutely.
Like they're playing up Ja Morant and Curry tonight, and that's a great matchup. And then they're talking about this backcourt of Jay Morant and the kid from Oregon, Dylan Brooks. Yep. They're saying that's a backcourt to watch for the future. And so now you're gonna get eyes on the television because you got Steph Curry and these up and coming stars. So I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be a great game. A lot of people are picking Memphis to win this one. I don't know. I think it's interesting because a lot of people have been picking these, I guess, the teams that aren't the home team to win these games, and the home teams have won every one of these games. I don't think there's been a road team that's won in any of the play-in games, and so it'll be interesting because Memphis is picked to a lot of people are picking Memphis to beat Golden State tonight because of Jay Morant and Brooks, but I think it's just going to be too hard to beat them up in Golden State, up in Oracle Arena, and we'll see because Steph Curry, he just. I mean, that guy, when he wants to cook now, he can get going. And I think Ja Morant is one of the most exciting players in the NBA, and people are excited to see him. But I just don't know if he's quite ready for prime time. And Steph Curry's going to, I think, show him that tonight.
Well, Steph Curry is ready for prime time, and this Golden State team has been playing fantastic basketball. And yesterday, the NBA announced the 3 finalists for the MVP award among the other postseason awards, and it was one Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets center, and Philadelphia 76ers center Joel Embiid. I think it's a 2-man race. I think it's Curry and Jokic coming down to you, and people are loving on Curry because they look at his supporting cast, what he's been able to do, the numbers he's been able to put up. So I think he made a late push to make it tough in voters' minds. I've been on Jokic. I think he's been the MVP from start to finish. Yes, the Nuggets have been a better team, but they are that team because of him, much like, yes, Steph Curry and the Warriors are here because of what Steph is doing. I think it's going to be fascinating to just see the votes down to that final minute, because we watched kind of the last 2 weeks, that one last push from Steph Curry doing it. And I will say, though, what does stand out is they would have been the 8th seed. So even if there wasn't this play-in tournament, Warriors would have been in the playoffs above 500. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's going to be a really tight race between Jokic and Curry for those MVP votes.
Yeah, like you said, Curry came on strong late. Jokic has kind of been in the mix all along. Jokic to me is one of my favorite. I never started watching him because you were a Denver Nuggets fan, so I started watching the Nuggets a little bit. But I was always fascinated with Jokic because he used to be so heavy. And I just loved the coach because Jokic would always try to come out of the game, and the coach would not let him come out of the game. It was like Little League when the kid, wants to go home because he's, having a bad day, and the coach is like, no, you stay in there, and the kid's crying on the field. That's how I felt Jokic was running up and down the court like one of those little kids crying on the field, wanting to come out. That was big Jokic. Now we got little Jokic.
Now we got in shape Joker.
Yeah, well, he went home and started flipping tires and got in shape, so he's looking much better.
So tonight, the Warriors and Grizzlies, who do you like in that playing game? One MVP finalist, Steph Curry, does he keep it going? And guess what? Winner gets to play the Utah Jazz this weekend. When we come back on the other side, who has the most pressure on them, the player, the team, this postseason to get the job done? He is Ned James. I'm JJ Buck. Bobcat is producing its opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView.
Steal coming in. Can she get the points? As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West, puts it up on the layup, scores.
Especially the team like Navajo Prep with so many weapons.
Three to beat the horn, yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover, Henderson in transition, gonna slam it home. Gonzalez going to leave it for Hasbury. Send it in. Get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline. She's going to heave it from half court for the
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable!
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. For your
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced,
game tonight. Who is it? A player? Is it a team? Is under the most pressure to get it done? Yes, there's the favorites. Everyone has eyes on the big three in Brooklyn. The Lakers, as they continue to move forward, get healthy, get that chemistry back. But is it either of those teams that are under the most pressure this weekend as the playoffs begin? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, joined by Ned James this morning. Bobcat, producing, taking your phone calls. Quan's Auto Care hotline is 246-0610, 1-888-922-0610. You can find the show on ProView Networks as well. You can find it, of course, Comcast Channel 26. Our Facebook page, facebook.com/COD in the AM. Search ProView on Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Wherever you like to stream stuff, you can find our show right there and watch it. You can replay it back later in the day. All that fun stuff for you. We got you covered right here on the opening drive. So right now, PGA Championship update. Golf's second major of the season. 6 players are at 3 under par. Of course, Brooks Koepka had a fantastic closing stretch yesterday. He's one of those 6 players, the biggest name in the group. Now, 2 names that are just a shot back. How about one, Phil Mickelson, who is 2 under par, getting it done, and John Rahm, 2 under. So those are some of the names that jump out. Of course, defending champ Colin Morikawa is 2 under. He'll tee off in a few hours. So we'll get you those PGA Championship updates throughout the morning. But playoff pressure. It is real. It's what it's all about. Titles. That's all we talk about when it comes to players is how many Super Bowl rings do you have? How many NBA titles have you won? Because that is by default the area, for some reason, we always end up debating on how good someone is at their job. Championships. So if we're looking at pressure going into the postseason, for me, it starts with Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks as a team with the most pressure on them. Now, they have probably the least ideal run as a 2 seed. Well, probably Phoenix is feeling it now, having to play the Lakers in the first round. But if Milwaukee wins, what happens? They're probably going to see the Brooklyn Nets in the second round, and they already have a tough opponent in the first round in Miami. But I think it's Giannis and the Bucks because you're looking at multiple MVP, a guy that, if you have that top 3, top 5 conversation, he's in it, in best players in the NBA. And Milwaukee has done everything you could up until this point other than landing another star. Is you have a Drew Holiday, you have Chris Middleton, you have a very good supporting cast around Giannis. So I think he's the player under the most pressure coming in because also is he going to sign that Supermax? Is he going to stay there long term? And if he flames out again, and it's going to ultimately fall back on him because he is the superstar of this team, does that mean his time in Milwaukee will also come to an end?
I don't think so. They just have to play well. And I know, they're in the hunt for a title, and everybody's on the Philadelphia bandwagon as we speak. But you still got to play. I mean, this is going to be totally different than last year. Not being a bubble, having to travel, having a home court advantage, those things are going to be important during the playoffs. And so we're going to see, and injuries always are a bigger deal now as you get into the playoffs. And so these guys that are coming off injuries and guys that are trying to play through injuries, it'll be interesting to see how that all comes about. But I still think the most pressure is going to be on the triplets. simply because they've got Cray Cray on the team with Kyrie. I don't know if he's smoking regular weed or what's going on with him. I mean, people think that this guy is just some philanthropist, some sort of just free spirit. But there's some issues with this guy. I mean, you can't keep behaving the way he does, and people think that there's nothing wrong with this guy. I'm just joking about the regular weed stuff, but I'm just he's acting like he's on something. He's acting strange and weird, and people are giving him a pass, saying that he's just eccentric and whatnot. But that's the team I believe has the most pressure because they've got three guys who are max level pay guys and also max all-stars, and they're going to have to show out in this playoff series. I just don't think that the Lakers are the hunted. They know that, they knew that last year. Their issue is going to be the injuries, and they're going to have to go on the road. And so I mean, you're still going to have to go beat people in other people's arena, and I think that's going to be a little bit more difficult this year than it was last year. The Clippers, they've never won, so there's no pressure on a team that's never won. I mean, how can you feel pressure when
that's funny?
You've never been a champion. So I mean,
Clippers are gonna clip. That's what we hear about them, and they are
dangerous though.
They're my number 2 on that list of players and/or teams with the most pressure. Because you got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. How bad the ending was for them last year, blowing that 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. Because after the fact, you heard about all the issues, like did they want to be there or not, but somehow, some way, you guys still had a 3-1 lead in a situation to close out the Nuggets, and you didn't do it, and you had the worst performance in Game 7. And to that point, Paul George said this week, quote, "It's just about between the ears now." Excuse me, that's Kawhi Leonard. I'll get Paul George's quote in a second. Kawhi Leonard said, "It's just about between the ears now." He said, "How much are we willing to sacrifice to get a win? How much of our mind and body are we going to put into this playoffs?" That's where I'm at. I'm confident in this unit because they were a mess last year, and still, even in the bubble, voting to leave the bubble, not wanting to be there, they found themselves in a position where they were a game away from the Western Conference Finals. So I think there's a ton of pressure on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, because he's a guy that he kind of gets the pass. Well, he's won 2 NBA Finals before. He won with the Spurs and won with the Raptors. Well, he hasn't been that dude with the Clippers yet. And to your point, everyone would just say, "Oh, it's just the Clippers haven't won anything." But you got a guy that so many people buy into in Kawhi Leonard, and I think he is one of those dudes that can absolutely push for being the best in the league when he is on. And the way they finished the season is they just rested. But you have to really try to not beat the Rockets or the Thunder at this point in the season, and they lost those last 2 games to be on the other side of the Lakers, which I still don't get. If I want to play the Lakers, I want to play them early before they get into a rhythm. So I think, yes, it's the Clippers. They haven't won anything, laugh all you want. But there's a ton of pressure on this squad, especially because what happens with Paul George in the playoffs recently. People clown on him.
Yeah.
It's Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, all eyes on them as well in LA.
Yeah, and they're good players. I mean, Kawhi's a good player, and PG is a good player as well. But I don't know if they're necessarily the team that everybody thinks should be winning. They have a lot less pressure than they had last year to win the championship, because last year they were the prohibitive favorite coming into the season. This season, coming into the season,
you think they were favored over the Lakers last year?
Last year, I do. I think they were, because they were the team with him coming off out of that free agency deal, choosing the Clippers over the Lakers, and then the roster that they had. I thought that they were the team that everybody thought would, and all the basketball aficionados said that they would beat the Lakers, that they were a better equipped team than the Lakers, and they fell flat on their faces in the bubble for whatever reason, But the Lakers, you guys convinced me. You and Adam convinced me about LeBron James. I wasn't as strong a LeBron guy until, I was in here one it was a year or 2 ago. I can't remember when, but you and Adam were here, and Adam looked at me and go, "Man, that guy LeBron James is just," and I had to stop and think, because I'd never really watched it and really kind of observed how talented he was, and I really do think he's that great a player. He really is that, that superstar player that you guys have kind of recognized. Maybe I'm just kind of old school, and I didn't really see the value in what he had accomplished up until that point. But it's going to be a tough out. I think the Lakers are the hunted. I don't, the Clippers, I don't think they have as much pressure this year as they had last year, so they can sneak up on you. They've got talent. The Milwaukee Bucks, talent. I mean, we got to get through this first round first before you see if anybody chokes.
That's true, but it's a pressure to get it done in the first round. And if you're looking at a Milwaukee team going against Miami, the team that eliminated them last season on the Heat's run to the NBA Finals. And the Nets are a team we're going to talk about more because Jeff is the same way when we kind of started to talk about this early in the week when he saw the playoffs shaping up. I don't feel there's a lot of pressure on the Nets because I think they're going to be so successful. Like it's one of those teams where if one of those guys doesn't play good, it's not going to hurt them as bad because there's still a Kyrie or KD or Harden.
They got Cray,
KD.
They got Cray. They got Harden. They got Durant. They got 3 head cases, and so that puts the pressure on.
So I am changing that. I am reassessing the way I'm looking at the Brooklyn Nets going into the postseason, just because I've looked at them and I'm not expecting a hiccup. But, yes, things could still happen. I've been a huge fan of the way Harden has played since he's gotten to Brooklyn. We still just haven't seen all 3 of those guys on the court all that much, and now it is the most important time with the playoffs starting this week. And so who do you think is under the most pressure? Is it the Nets? Is it Giannis? Is it the Clippers? Is it someone else? You can get involved. 246-0610 is the Quan's Auto Care hotline. You can email the show, jj@sportsanimалabq.com. You send them to Jeff. He's not going to read them till Monday. So if you got something you want to get into today, hit me up there, jj@sportsanimалabq.com. F45 Functional Fitness. It has helped me reignite that spark I've needed to take control of my fitness. The red shirt year that a lot of us took last season, it's time to get back on track. If you want to be an MVP candidate, well, F45 can help you get there. We're talking high-intensity training in 45-minute sessions. I absolutely love the classes. They got a new program on deck, too. They're switching up the days. They're switching up what they're going to be doing, and so your mind and body are going to face a new challenge every single day when you go to F45. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app on your phone. Take a look at the Northeast Heights location. You can also sign up for your 7-day free trial. Get into the gym, and you're going to realize this is a lot of fun, and you're going to get a fantastic workout in just 45 minutes. Certified trainers there. Every class help motivate and modify the exercises if needed. The atmosphere is fantastic, and it's only going to continue to get better at F45. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Gym is located at 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's really good access from wherever you are coming from in town. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Decades, Sergio.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work.
Favorite, because it is rare what he did, and it's going to be rare moving forward. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck joined by our quarterback, Ned James, this morning. Bobcat producing. Taking your phone calls, 246-0610 is Equan's Auto Care Hotline. Of course, Jay Pohl and Mr. Brown back there at ProView Networks holding it down this morning. You can watch the show each and every day, especially when there's not 875 high school basketball games going on, so those guys can come in and check it out. But once again, good work, everyone. It was a lot of fun. Loved being able to work with y'all for the state tournament. And it's not done. There's softball. There's baseball still rolling at ProView Networks, covering you all across the state for high school athletics and much, much more. But the news came out yesterday that one of McQuarch Malawach has signed with an agent, as he has joined the Octagon family, and it, as expected, probably officially put an end to his Lobo basketball career. He was a player that, if he wanted to, could take advantage of the extra year of eligibility, like every collegiate athlete last year due to the COVID season. But McQuarch Malawach moving on, he's going to be someone that's going to get an opportunity to play professional basketball overseas, make a living playing the game of basketball. So congratulations to him as well. He just graduated, and we saw that with a lot of other student athletes as well, because they still are student athletes. But the game's changing, Ned. And what we see now, people are frustrated with the transfers. Well, welcome to the new world. And it is a different game. And it has absolutely turned into free agency with this one-time free transfer that we now see in collegiate athletics. But it's also one that New Mexico is benefiting big time because they are in a situation where their basketball program had a ton of turnover, that they pretty much brought in an entire new team of talent because they won 6 games last year. You were not very good. You had a lot of questions about these players, and that's just the reality of it. You have these great stories like Makwaj Malawach staying 4 years, developing, grinding, becoming a fan favorite. It's going to be few and far between now as these coaches try to figure out the balance between getting immediate impact players versus still trying to be able to find some guys like this that are going to stick around and develop. And then you do so much work over there working with the student athletes, with the coaches. What's your sense on just the reaction to what we're seeing now as transfers are nothing new, but no more redshirt year?
Right. The pandemic changed everything. With the rules and when you can go out and recruit, and guys haven't been able to go out, guys having spring
that's probably been the biggest detriment to high school players this past year is recruiting, right?
Right. But the spring games for college teams, so a lot of these FCS schools played in the spring, and then there's that dead period. Now they're trying to eliminate this dead period so these guys can go out and get better evaluation of these younger players, because it really hurt the 2021 class and the 2022 class because of the fact that coaches couldn't go out and see people, so they're more likely to recruit a guy that they could see. Like they've got tape on these guys that are in the portal, and so they can fill spots that they need, and they also get another year from guys that they have on their teams already. So it's tough for the kids, the high school kids, but that one-time exemption that you get to transfer, boy, that changes the game, because now it flips the power from the coaches to the kids now, and the kids have a little bit of power in deciding on where they can go. You still have to maintain your eligibility. Yeah. Coaches, you got to know what you're getting. You're getting guys now who are leaving programs that maybe a big time program, but maybe they're not a big time player, and so you really have to be careful. But guys are trying to fill spots, and a lot of times you can get a guy who may not have the necessary skill set to play at a higher level, but he would be decent at your level. And so I think that's what a lot of people are looking at. But this one-time exemption, that really changes the game, because the power now, shifts a little bit to the player, and it's going to be difficult for these coaches to kind of maneuver that when you're trying to put your squads together for the fall.
Yeah, I am in favor of the one-time free transfer. I've been in favor of it. Yes, is it more challenging? Is there the situation where some smaller schools could lose their best player? Absolutely. But in the whole big picture of collegiate athletics, I look at it as it's the same way that coach who takes a step up to a power conference job in his career, it shouldn't be any different for a player who performs really well out of school. You say, hey, thanks for the opportunity, and now I'm going to transfer to this Pac-12 school, etc. It is absolutely challenging, and schools are going to have to deal with it, because there might be a time where a player from the University of New Mexico feels he has outplayed the Lobos and tries to transfer somewhere else. But it also is a situation that right now New Mexico is benefiting in a huge way from this, because Richard Pitino has absolutely changed that entire roster. The starting 5 next year, there's a chance that no one from last year's team is in the starting lineup. Like, that's the amount of turnover we've seen, and that's kind of, I think, does change the process, though. And you mentioned the pressure that these coaches will now feel from some of the players, but I think even more so, it's going to be on these coaches. Usually you come into a college program and say, oh, give me 2-3 years, let me lay my foundation. People are going to be looking around, especially in basketball now, going, I don't know if I'm going to wait 2 or 3 years to see if he can bring in these recruits, especially when you look at Richard Pitino. We're talking, Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn Jr., guys like that right off the bat. And so it changes that dynamic, too, where immediately, usually the coach can come in, try to lay his foundation. I don't know what that's going to look like now at college program.
Well, now do you want a professional organization in your athletic department? Now, you're still going to have to develop guys. I mean, there's no question you're going to have a population of young players on your team to develop. That's the question everyone wants to know. How is this team team going to be developed? Are you going for the one and dones? Are you trying to, build a championship right away in your first year? Those are questions that, are going to have to be answered, and the coach is going to give you those answers. He's going to tell you exactly, hey, this is what kind of team we have. This is how many young guys I have. This is what we're looking to do. We're looking to build for the next year or next 2 years or however long it takes. Here's what kind of program I want to have. These are student athletes, but at the end of the day, people want banners, and so you're going to have to figure out a way to put the best squad you could possibly put on the field every season. And football's no different. I mean, the major sports here, you are going to have to produce. That goes for, women's basketball, men's baseball, soccer, tennis, because the other sports, the other Olympic sports are doing well. I mean, they're doing well at UNM, and so there's going to be a level of expectation from these other sports, particularly the major ones: football, basketball, and baseball. So I think it's a good thing. Having the kids have the option. I don't know if kids have to be careful too, because if you go in the portal, there's
only so many spots.
There's only so many spots, and now you got a bird in the hand. Your mom always told you a bird in the hand was more than 20 in the bush. So sometimes guys jump in the portal.
And right, who you listen to.
You get that scholarship check cut.
That's helping you in these situations.
Yeah, and you're starting to do DoorDash because you got to sleep on your buddy's sofa because you're not getting scholarship money anymore. Those are the things that young people have to think about. I mean, the ones who are the ones that everyone wants. Those are few and far between. And so you really have to understand. Some coaches, they say, "Hey, I can get one just like you." So if you want to jump in the portal, go right ahead. So it works both ways. So young people, just be careful when you have a scholarship, and it gives the kids a little bit of a, like you said, competitive edge a little bit, so that they didn't have before, that they're going to have now with being able to choose where they go. If they don't like where they're at, just like coaches.
Yeah, the one-time free transfer has absolutely changed things, and there's dynamics to this, whether it's high school recruiting, the pressure that's even going to be more so on coaches to win earlier than even before. There's a lot of ways to look at this, and we'll touch on the football aspect of it and how UNM overall, at this moment in time, has been really benefited from this rule change going into next season. He is Ned James, JJ Buck, Bobcat producing with you on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a bacon double stack for
Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Mike, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Here's the steal coming in. Can she get the point?
As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West. Puts it up on the layup. Scores.
Especially the team like Navajo Prep with so many weapons.
Three to beat the horn. Yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover. Henderson in transition. Going to slam it home. Gonzalez going to leave it for Hasbury. Send it in. Get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline. She's going to heave it from half court for the
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out, needs to be replaced. We're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rolling along on a Friday, the benefits and the challenges. The one-time transfer rule in NCAA. Huge benefit right now for the Lobos. Richard Pitino and his staff able to come in and turn over pretty much an entire roster. Maybe you see one guy from last year that sneaks into the starting lineup, but that's just what we're going to see. But then also the challenges. It's been a rough year and a half for a lot of players, but especially high school players. And to the point of, Ned was making about the dead period when some of these schools weren't playing until late as well. Like in the state of New Mexico, it was just a spring season for high school football and basketball among the other sports. And recruiting, you couldn't go out and recruit. I think this year and probably a little bit of next year, high school athletes will take the biggest hit. So that's then an opportunity. Which coach is going to be able to land a couple of those guys that might have slipped through the cracks because of recruiting, get them onto your campus, develop them, because you still have to find that balance. The transfers are taking over college athletics, but you're still going to have to find a player like a McQuatch Malawatch that's willing to stay 3 to 4 years and develop and grow as a player. So yes, it is incredibly difficult, but the benefits are there if you do it right. JJ Buckinhead James, Bobcat with the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal, and ProView Networks. Because one of those examples is Lobo football.
Yeah.
What we saw last year, they passed the eye test, and all of a sudden, last 2 games of the season with QB5, they won 2 games. So you head in the offseason going, knowing that you can return super seniors, and they have 14 guys coming back, feels like that they believe in terms of the foundation that they've laid that, all right, some of these guys are buying into what Danny Gonzalez and company want to do, and thus they get a little bit more aggressive in the transfer market. You're able to bring in an SEC quarterback to your team. You're able to get immediately eligible a 4-star offensive lineman, in this case Jack Buford from Missouri. So this is where it can benefit you when you find out maybe we're a little further ahead than we thought.
Yeah, culture is important. I mean, bringing a guy in and having him fit into your culture is going to be something that we're going to have to watch and see, because these new guys are going to have to fit in and going to have to take this coaching. Maybe they didn't take that kind of coaching. That's why they're in the portal. So you never know. Also, there's relationships. There's relationships that coaches have with players. Maybe they recruited them when they were on another staff, and it's not working out for that person at another team, and they're able to say, hey, I know this kid well enough to, I think I can get him to kind of come around and kind of buy into what we're selling here, and that all those kind of things are what take place when you're trying to bring a program together. And I'm sure Coach Gonzalez over there at UNM is really kind of honing in on what kind of guys he's going to have on his team, because you got all kinds of things that come up during the course of a season, and you're going to have to be able to trust guys to make sure that they keep everything together when it seems like things could be falling apart. Falling apart when you go on a losing streak of some sort, and guys can start getting really negative. You got to have guys who are going to be able to pull the team together, or kind of rally around maybe an injury or something that happens to a key position player. You just going to have to have guys who buy into wanting to be a part of this team and the culture that we're having here at the University of New Mexico, and that happens in basketball as well and baseball as well. So those kind of guys, when you're pulling guys out of the portal, you're pulling in transfers, you're getting guys from junior colleges, you're getting guys from other programs and that sort of thing, and you're just trying to find a way to have them fit in with the group of guys that you have. You're starting to, this is Danny's second season, so he's starting to understand and know the guys on his team. He's kind of getting a feel for what they can do and what they can't do, and just kind of how they feel about being Lobos. And it's tough. It's tough when you bring in new guys. You just really have to have the players that are here already. They're the ones who sell the program. and the coaching staff and the confidence they have in winning those last games. With my favorite quarterback, I love them all over there. I love all the kids.
Baby.
Isaiah Chavez is my man. I was joking with Rocky the other day. Everybody, they give me a funny look over there. I said, I don't care about this SEC quarterback coming in. Move him to wide receiver. I want Isaiah Chavez. He got street cred.
Of all the things you've said this past year, that is the craziest
I know
thing.
it is. I know it is.
Terry
You're saying it. You're saying it.
Get out of here.
The Lobo staff is saying it. Everyone's looking at me crazy. But I'm an Isaiah Chavez fan. I'm turning Isaiah Chavez into Tim Tebow. That's right.
I think Isaiah Chavez, of course, has a future. Because of what he did, he's going to be the guy in the program developing, being the.
He needs to be on the poster. I want Isaiah Chavez on the UNM poster. I don't care what anybody says. Isaiah Chavez
legend.
is. They said it. I've met a lot of those kids over there. Isaiah Chavez is the only one I have not met. And when I say I probably haven't met, because he probably looks like the ball boy or the equipment manager. They say he throws the ball as end over end sometimes in practice. He's not the best. He looks just like a normal student at UNM. But my friend Ronald Jenkins in Los Angeles absolutely hates Isaiah Chavez. Devontae Adams broke Ronald Jenkins' record at Fresno State. Ronald Jenkins and I practiced together over at USC when I was a player. He's a diehard Fresno State fan, and Isaiah got him. Until that,
at the end,
I got a whole year of bragging rights in Los Angeles because of Isaiah Chavez. So Isaiah Chavez is my hero.
About QB5.
I'm all about it.
As a lot of people should be. It was a fantastic story. Fifth string quarterback overall. Walk on, true freshman, stepping up in a season. We were in Vegas for the short Mountain West Conference here. You're on the road. Final 2 games. It could have been easy for the entire team to roll over. No doubt about it. A legend in Lobo lore
from Rio Rancho.
Chavez from Rio Rancho High School, the Rams. But Terry Wilson should be the starting quarterback for the Lobos next year.
That is, unless Isaiah Chavez, he tweaks an ankle and Isaiah Chavez comes in and wins another Mountain West Conference game. Now he's got the most Mountain West Conference wins out of all the quarterbacks.
You look down that list.
I love them all. QB's over there because I love Tavaka. I love Trey Hall. I love Brad Hughes. I like them all.
We all have our guys.
Yeah, but Isaiah Chavez
and all of our guys were over.
Win those 2 games.
Isaiah came.
And hey, look, and I'm all about the W's. You don't have to look pretty to me. Those other guys, they look good. Wilson's coming in here from the SEC with a dimple in his chin. I guess everybody likes guys with dimples in their chin, but
strong jawline.
He's not Isaiah Chavez. He's not the hero of Los Angeles, California, Isaiah Chavez.
Who will be the Lobos' starting quarterback? Speaking of someone moving to wide receiver, we'll talk about that because they made it official this week. He is Ned James, JJ Buck, Bobcat producing. We got Jay Pohl and Mr. Brown hanging out on ProView Networks. Josh Ushan coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. Voice of the Ice Topes is going to join us. A big weekend for the Topes. And stick around because we might have a couple tickets for you as well. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Bach.
Number 85 in your program, or your roster, or minicamp pamphlet, Tim Tebow. The Jacksonville Jaguars made it official. Tim Tebow is attempting his NFL comeback. He signed a 1-year deal yesterday as Jacksonville began their offseason program as he sets out to compete for a roster spot as Tim Tebow, number 85, because Gardner Minshew is number 15 right now. Some voluntary workouts yesterday and a closed workout for the Jaguars. So Tim Tebow is officially a Jacksonville Jaguar trying to make the team as a tight end. JJ Buck, Ned James, Bobcat with you. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Where's Jay Pohl and Mr. Brown there on ProView Networks, just kicking it, chilling, munching on a Friday morning, throwing it back. Pizza. Oh, that's what's up.
Pizza.
Little cold pizza on a Friday morning. Oh, yeah, buddy. Let's get it at ProView Networks. I'm sure there's a lot of boxes left around from everything that they've been doing over there on ProView Networks. So the Tim Tebow stuff, I had to take a deep breath. Because initially when this came out, I was one of the people just losing my mind. I'm like, this is outrageous. This is dumb. What are they doing? And it all went right back to Urban Meyer. Because Urban Meyer hasn't done a thing in the NFL, and he's acting like he's been in the league 15 years and won multiple championships. Yeah. And, like, that is how you ruin a career. That is how you break Trevor Lawrence. That is how you never get another shot to coach in the league. But Urban Meyer, of course, did good things in collegiate athletics. This ain't college anymore. How many times do we have to watch these coaches with great collegiate careers come into the NFL and think they're reinventing the wheel and think, hey, I won a national championship at Ohio State. I won games at Florida. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to do the same thing. That's not how it works. So most of my frustration was with Urban Meyer, and there's ultimately laughing at the Tebow situation. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is a way to alienate yourself from that locker room even more before you've coached a game, before you've had a workout. Because it starts with the strength and conditioning coach you try to hire. You get it. Ned, you've been in these You've been there as a player. You've been there as a coach at the highest level. You understand that these guys, you bring your friends in, you bring your buddies in. That's the way it works. But when your buddy lost his previous job because of potential allegations regarding not just abuse, but questionable things, potentially when it came to race allegations, and that you're going to bring him into an NFL locker room and try to vouch for him before you've done anything? Nope, that didn't work out. And then, of course, your godson, Tim Tebow, coming in. Everyone's looking like, when was the last time this guy was in the NFL? Wasn't he just trying to play minor league baseball? So the situation, I kept going back to Urban Meyer. Like, what does he think he's doing? And then Travis Etienne, your first-round running back that you drafted, because that's exactly what you needed, is a running back when you had James Robinson rush for over 1,000 yards last year. At rookie minicamp, he took every snap at wide receiver. So I'm just looking at Urban Meyer wondering, why is he trying to outthink himself in this situation? But here we are. It is happening. Tim Tebow is a Jacksonville Jaguar trying to make this roster as a tight end. And I just do not see how this ends well for Urban or the Jaguars.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. You know, I've got a young man on that team that I coached when he was in high school. I coached for a year in Tennessee, and C.J. Beathard. So C.J. is going to be back up there. So and I talked to C.J. quite a bit. And I know George Warhop's the offensive line coach. I've worked with George before. It'll be interesting to see, because I know there's some eye rolls going on over there with the coaching staff. NFL coaches, and I've been in this situation before with a college coach coming into the NFL. It's a little unique, and I've been around pro coaches who were always in the NFL, and so it's different. The thing that's fascinating, because there's been a lot of great college minds that have been able to come into the NFL and do well, but there's also been some really great minds that have come to the NFL and have flopped. I mean, Norm Chow, one of the most brilliant guys I've ever been around, could not handle the NFL. Kept talking about the hash marks. I kept saying, Norm, the ball's in the middle of the field all the time. Colleges, the hash marks mean something, in the pros they don't. The same thing with Spurrier, guys like that. You know, Dennis Erickson was able to adjust. He won national championship, but it still was tough for him. He's just like Urban Meyer. This guy Urban hasn't coached in, 3 or 4 years now, and now he's coming into the NFL. So the staff, the guys on his staff, there's half college guys and half, I looked at his staff, half college, half NFL experience. The issue becomes when you have that first team meeting, when you have everybody there, and it's mandatory, they're all there, and you got to stand up in front of them, and you've got to explain to them, hey, this is how we're going to win a Super Bowl this year. Because you got grown men in there, you got men with families, you got guys with long-term contracts that they're not buying the circus stuff. I mean, and they're serious competitors. They're professionals, and they expect you to behave professionally. He has a lot of control, which, you know, I was with a coach, college coach, Dennis Erickson, had a lot of control, came into a situation like Urban has right now, where he's got all the control, he's got all the power, he's going to have to deal with, you know, free agents, he's going to have to deal with picking up players during the year, practice squad guys, all those kind of things he's going to have to deal with. When everybody's sitting there thinking, okay, is he just putting this guy on the team so this guy can get his pension? You know, you got to get 3 years and 3 games, or 3 or 4 games, the 4th year, in order for you to be fully vested and get the NFL pension. And everybody knows Tebow's short 3 or 4 games because he only lasted 2 or 3 years in the NFL. And so, you know, hey, is he doing his buddy a solid? Is it affecting our winning because he's trying to do his buddy a solid? You know, they're going to look to see, because it's a serious game, and these are professionals. And if he's not able to get that across to the players, that would be a difficult situation. Now, as far as having Tebow on the team, when you're coming from college, I understand it, because when I was in Seattle, I was a college guy, and I always remember this because Cortez Kennedy was a defensive player of the year in the NFL, and you go on a losing streak, and you're getting off an airplane, and the guy turns around and looks at the staff and says, no wonder we can't win any freaking games. We got all these stinking college coaches on our staff. That's why we can't win. That's going to come up. You know, you're going to have somebody to have your back in that locker room, and that's, I think, where Urban's trying to. And someone's probably coached him up on it and said, hey, you have to have some guys have your back now. And so, but I think he took it a little bit too far. I think he took it to the extreme here with the strength condition coach, and also having Tim Tebow, who's way, he's over his skis here with trying to play tight end.
I think so, because Tim Tebow is a really good athlete. Like, yes, Tim Tebow lifts weights. We see that. But going from a good quarterback, a physical quarterback, to a tight end, it's night and day. Like, the dude's never caught a pass in college or in the pros. Like, he can catch a football, right? But can you catch a football when you're running an out route with the safety coming down on you? Can you block an outside linebacker? Like, that's what you're going to have to do as a tight end. And there was a story earlier this week on Greg McElroy, former Alabama quarterback. He was with the Jets for a little bit. Now he's a college football analyst. And he was in New York when Tim Tebow was there, when the Jets dabbled with Tebow doing this at the very end. Like, he reluctantly, played some snaps at tight end. And Greg McElroy this week on SiriusXM said, quote, "The Jets tried switching him to tight end and he wasn't good." That's what people don't acknowledge. And it's one that you look at and say, yeah, you're a good athlete, but like there's the but in there. Yeah. Playing tight end is not the same as taking snaps and running into the line. And that's where I just can't buy in. Yeah. So there's so many people, and Jeff and I went back and forth on this. He's like, I don't get why people are so upset. Like, if he's not good, he won't make the team. And I was like, hold up. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, he can be really bad, but he's Urban Meyer's guy. Yeah. And that's the tough situation that Urban has put himself in, because you have a developmental prospect that Tim Tebow is not going to look great. Yeah. And do you think Urban really wants to go through this, bring him in, and then cut him before you even get to training camp? Yeah. Cut him before you even get to that first season game? So that is why I think he is in the tough situation, because I think he has to put Tebow on this team if he's not good, and they'll just say, oh, he's still developing. Yeah, and if Tebow doesn't develop, is it Tebow's fault, or is it the coach's fault for not developing him? And that's why some coaches don't even want first-rounder picks, because they're afraid of the development. And if that person doesn't develop, he's a first rounder. You didn't develop him, so you're fired. So those are the things that you really have to be careful with professionals, because they're going to know from day one, hey, this guy's over his skis. He shouldn't be out here, and we got him out here because he's the pet cat of the head coach, and the coach needs a pet cat, in order for him to feel safe here with us professionals, because he's afraid that we may run him off because he doesn't know what he's doing. So it's a tough, difficult situation for Urban Meyer to be in, but he's got the leverage. But it's his party. Yeah, ultimately he did it to himself. Who made these decisions? Urban Meyer did, and it's all going to fall back. But JJ, one last thing. The question is, and this is what people aren't saying. They keep thinking that Tebow's playing tight end. What happens when Tebow takes one snap at quarterback and you got Trevor Lawrence, who everybody sees as the future? If Tebow is on this roster in the regular season, there is a package where that man is taking a snap at quarterback. It is happening. And so there you have it. Now you've got your overall, the guy they're saying is the best quarterback in the last 10 years coming out of college, and all of a sudden it's stunning his development because you want Tebow to take some snaps at quarterback. Have fun with that, Urban Meyer. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Quan's Auto Care Hotline is 246-0610, 1-888-922-0610. You can email the show, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. I'm sure you're sending emails to Jeff. Well, guess what? He's not going to read them until Monday. So if you got something you want to get in today, hit me up on the email. You can also find me on the Twitter, which is easy and fantastic as well. It's _JJ Buck. We come back on the other side. Which rookie quarterback is going to have the biggest impact this season? Is it a Trevor Lawrence or is it someone else? He's Ned James. I'm JJ Buck. That's Bobcat OD right here on The Sports Animal.
Calling all football players. Are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network. Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Give me a hoe if you got your funky bus fare.
Capacity is not that good.
Woo! If you didn't know, now you know. Friday, what a hoe. Happy hoe day to you. Great job, bro. You guys breaking it down. Ned James in studio. Bobcat coming in strong. Had to pick it up just a little bit. Of course, Jeff not being here, but you know his ears perked up. He's like, oh. Got that little spidey sense.
Yeah.
That it
Psychic.
is
Yeah.
Friday.
Sense. Yeah.
Good hope.
He's probably still sleeping.
Who knows what Jeff is up to this week? And he's back on Monday. He is Ned James. I'm JJ Buck. That's Bobcat. That's J Pole. That's Mr. Brown on ProView Networks with you here this morning on the opening drive. 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. Don't know. Okay, we don't know. We'll get there in a second. 2460610 is the Quan's Auto Care hotline. So speaking about quarterbacks that are actually going to be quarterbacks, not Tim Tebow, this situation this year. Rookie quarterbacks, who could have the biggest impact? I know all eyes probably go to Trevor Lawrence because he's going to start right away. But it's a very fascinating class with what we saw play out after the fact. Trey Lance going 3 to the San Francisco 49ers, the team that has not just playoff aspirations, but winning games in the postseason, bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back, but they weren't 100% confident in him. Thus, they traded that capital away to move up to bring in Trey Lance. You have Justin Fields in Chicago. Mac Jones now the new future for Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, or maybe it's someone else. Good player I keep gravitating to, and he was my guy before the draft. And it has that Justin Herbert-like feel to me this year is Justin Fields. And looking at him at Ohio State, it's one where it's funny when you see these situations with a quarterback maybe from a lesser program, and they go, well, who did you play with? Who did you play against? And then sometimes the guys from the bigger program, it's like, oh, of course life was easy. You had guys running wide open down the field, etc. Well, now we're going to find out what these guys are all about. I think when it's all said and done, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is probably going to have the games played and be the yardage leader, touchdowns, etc., just playing all 17 games this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the biggest impact is Justin Fields because I do see him coming in to a Bears team that's solid, that's been waiting for that spark, that needs someone. And how about Matt Nagy and company getting a chance, a second opportunity with the first-round quarterback? That is rare.
Yeah.
The swing and miss as bad as they did on Trubisky. But now with Justin Fields, I think he is the guy come second half of the season that does help the Bears make a playoff push and is the most impactful rookie this year.
Okay. And that's where your youth comes in, and that's why I'm an old man, because I'm not a big Justin Fields fan. I'm trying my hardest to like Justin Fields, but I knew him when he was erratic Justin Fields. Now, he played well this past season with the COVID year. He played well, and so, he looked good in the game against Clemson. I thought he looked really good. In that playoff game, the first one that he got hurt in, thought he looked exceptional. But I'm still not quite sold on him. The most intriguing one to me, I think the Trey Lance Garoppolo thing, he gets a year to, kind of mature behind Garoppolo. The Trevor Lawrence circus is going to be interesting to watch because of Tebow being there, and people can say what they want, but he's going to stick his son. You say his godson, I say his real son, in that backfield at quarterback for a snap, even though he's got an 85 jersey on. Zach Wilson, I'm a little worried about because he's got no vets over there. He's in New York, and he doesn't have anybody to kind of show him the way. But the most intriguing one to me, and I hate to go this place, is the New England Cheaters.
Gonna do it.
The New England Cheaters and Bill Belichick. The Cam Newton situation will be interesting because if Cam Newton gets to a place where he starts pouting or he gets upset, because Bill Belichick really likes Cam Newton. He wouldn't have brought him in if he didn't like him. And he likes what Cam is capable of doing. But if Cam struggles and he has to go to Mac Jones, now I don't think Mac Jones is talented enough, but if Mac can watch it for a while and develop, I think he can do a decent job because they're going to make sure he doesn't screw it up. Now, they're going to have to get rid of somebody because they brought Brian Hoyer back and they've got Stidham there. Somebody's got to go. And I think it'll happen before the first regular season game. It's either going to be Cam Newton or it's going to be Stidham. One of them two guys are going. They may try to stay with Cam early in the year, but I think if he doesn't give them what they really want, it's not fair to Cam because it was a COVID year last year. He didn't get all the camps and all that stuff. So he's got enough time now, and so he's got to come out the gate firing on all cylinders. If not, they're gonna move on from him. I give him 4 or 5 games, and then they'll put Mac Jones in.
It does feel that each of these rookie quarterbacks landed in what could be a good spot for them. Like if Mac Jones went to one of these other teams, I don't know if all of us would be as confident him actually making it. But with Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, the Patriot way, you're like, okay, I could see it. Because I had Mac Jones 5 on this list. I had him behind all these other guys when we're talking first-round quarterbacks. But it's just a been there, done that with Bill Belichick and the Patriots, which you buy in. It's you made something out of Matt Castle. You made something out of Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo. Moving on. So that's why you still kind of feel like, okay, this could potentially work with Mac Jones. And I understand that. And is it overthinking it offensively? Because the one thing when you see Cam Newton, yeah, there's some read options there, but he's still like they played a lot more power football with Cam Newton. So is it one where the offense can still pretty much keep the same principles with Cam or Mac Jones, or is there a big difference between those two?
Defensively, Bill Belichick is a lot like Rocky Long to me. They're defensive guys that are coaching offense. And I used to laugh at watching Rocky coach because those running backs would try to come out of the game, and Rocky was like, that ball's not heavy. You could stay in the game. He's going to give them he's going to power you and make you run the ball if you're his best guy running the ball all day. And I think Belichick thinks the same exact way. That's why he likes Cam so much, because he can run the power game with Cam at quarterback. He can run the ball. It's a conservative approach. You know, you let the other team make mistakes. If the other teams, not able to do anything, if they're going to, kill themselves with throwing the ball, you just go ahead and let them. And that's how defensive guys do it. And so Belichick loves that conservative approach. That's why he likes Cam so much. But I think, Cam's, I just don't like Cam's passing skill set. I'm just not a fan of how he throws the ball. Mac Jones is not my favorite guy. I like those prototypical guys that are built like him, that are pocket guys. That's why I'm probably not as big a Justin Fields fan as you are. But, I'm not a big Mac Jones fan either. But I do think if he can play conservatively like Belichick likes him to play, I think he can be the most successful out of all the rookies.
246-0610, Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Lance, you're on the opening drive. What is up, Lance?
Expect a little better howl out of Ed. There's a little. Anyway. So they took my medication away for the anxiety and the nightmares. So I punched myself in the throat, the mouth, and the nose, and knocked myself out for no telling how long. But I won. I won the fight. But anyway, I like Lance, the quarterback too. But you're going off on Tebow awful hard there. You're a Bronco. He won 6 games in a row, and they beat the Steelers in the playoffs on the 80-yard touchdown pass. I mean, that's not too bad at all. And, Cam Newton, people forgot, he suffered with COVID.
He did.
He really got sick. And he just would go to the bench and pass out, and I don't think he gave it his best effort, man. And at the end of the season, he was running touchdowns in. He had a rhythm going. And he was happy, winning. And so, I don't know. I think he's going to be just fine. I hope he leads their team. I like to see a guy come back that, everybody kind of shamed after Denver whipped him in the Super Bowl. But, I want to see him do good. And I always put a guy the underdog, in which people turn their back on him like they're doing Tebow now. So, God bless, and thanks for putting up with my voice. But
it's all good, Lance. Best wishes to you, my man. Appreciate the phone call. Lance got in 246-0610. And yes, Tim Tebow won a playoff game with the Denver Broncos. Fantastic. Threw an 80-yard touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas. I remember that. I enjoyed that moment as a football fan. That was 10 years ago? Yeah. Like when that happened?
I think people misunderstand. They think that we don't like Tebow. We like Tebow.
Everyone likes Tebow.
We want to go to church with Tebow. We like that about Tebow. He's a good guy. But we're talking football. We're talking him lining up.
We're talking about him lining up at tight end after not playing football. And there's a lot of good athletes out there, but it doesn't mean you're immediately going to transition to tight end. If there was a position for Tebow, I think he missed the boat on it. He's a fullback. I think Tim Tebow, the fullback.
Tim Tebow, the pet cat. He's the pet cat of Urban Meyer right now.
He's such a good guy, though. You need him in the locker room. Then bring him in to be a motivational speaker. Be like, don't end up in a van down by the river. I'm Tim Tebow.
He could be the team chaplain.
Yeah, you could bring him in for that. But we'll see. Urban Meyer has put himself in this situation. How is he going to get himself out of it? And yeah, Cam Newton is a lot of people go back to the moment where he didn't dive on a fumble in the Super Bowl when that Broncos defense beat them up pretty good, and they hold him to that, which it's a moment he has to live with forever. But I'm a Cam Newton fan, and to your point, Bill Belichick wouldn't have kept him around if he doesn't think they could do something positive with him. And I'm intrigued to see what happens, because it is an entirely different identity, and you just laid it out. It's a ball control, win with defense, and then see if your quarterback can make a play or two in New England, because it's not the same explosive offense as they've had in the past.
No, and Cam is the type of guy, he's not the owner's pet cat like Tom Brady was. Tom the Cheater Brady now got lucky to win a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, but Belichick was trying to get rid of Brady for 10 years, I think. I think he's been trying to get rid of Brady forever.
Like it for a while.
But Brady is a natural thrower. I don't like Cam's throwing style. There's something about Cam's throwing. My shoulders hurt when I watch him throw. And so he's just painful to watch.
Yeah, that's where he's at. That's what he's stuck with in his career. We're continuing to take your calls, 246-0610. You can send your emails, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. F45 Functional Fitness. In just 45 minutes, you can get in a high-intensity workout, fast, fun, results-driven with F45 training. Life is crazy now. There's a lot more things going on, whether you're back at the office, picking up the kids from practice, school, etc. You get really busy, and then it gets to that point of, where's the time to get in the gym? Well, you can get a fantastic workout in just 45 minutes with F45 training. You get it, 45 minutes. But you're going to get cardio work, strength work, all kinds of different work, full body functional fitness in a manageable time frame that works with your schedule. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Check out the Northeast Heights location. Look at the schedule of classes. Classes are available 7 days a week. And sign up for your 7-day free trial so you can get in the gym and see what it is all about. I'm absolutely loving F45. It's helped me get the spark back I've needed to care about my fitness, and it will help you too. If you're someone that does work out looking for a different type of challenge or looking to kickstart your fitness, F45 is the gym for everyone. So F45training.com, download the F45 app today. Check it out. Gym is located 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's real good access from wherever you are in town. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
And westbound traffic on Highway 550 in Bernard.
Steal coming in. Can she get the point? As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West, puts it up on the layup, scores.
Especially the team like Naval Prep with so many weapons.
3 to beat the horn, yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover, Henderson in transition, gonna slam it home. Gonzalez gonna leave it for Hasbury, send it in! Get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline, she's gonna heave it from half court for the
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proud
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to.
So one more play-in game tonight. Golden State and Memphis. Winner advances to play the Utah Jazz. Would be the 1-8 matchup. We saw the Washington Wizards easily defeat the Indiana Pacers last night. We'll get in more into Russell Westbrook because we saw the best of Westbrook last night, and I think that really highlights who he is as a player when things are going correctly. The playoff pressure that is on now with the NBA playoffs starting this weekend, and the Atlanta Hawks interim head coach are already taking some shots at their first round opponent at the New York Knicks, and really specifically at the NBA. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, that is Ned James. Bobcat is producing. Of course, you can watch this as well on ProView Networks. J. Pole holding it down. Let's get to the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Howard, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Howard?
Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Ned.
Good morning.
You know, and I'm going to direct this question at you, Ned. How do you feel the locker room is going to react to Tim Tebow? I would think it, honestly, as a player, I would think giving up a roster spot to who I consider to be a has-been, is got to be, have a derogatory effect on the locker room. What do you think?
It's all going to be predicated on how the head coach delivers it to the team, because if the head coach delivers it in a bad way or the wrong way, and then the players will lose respect, and then he'll feel it, because Tebow's really a good guy, and so I don't think the players will have a problem with him personally. It's if he can't perform or he's just a fish out of water at that position, which he will be. And it's just blaring, and they're not doing anything about it. That's the only thing, because a lot of times players understand that, coaches, he's essentially there to watch the coach's back. I mean, he's a college coach. These pro guys are not going to give him the level of respect that high school and college kids would give him in the locker room. And I've been with coaches who are college coaches who won national championships. Pro guys don't care that you won college national championships. They don't care. They don't care if you got a Heisman Trophy. They don't care any of that stuff. And so
it's a paycheck now.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the level of respect of the profession and the professionalism that they're going to respect if you can help them be successful. And that's what he's going to. Tebow is going to have to show his wares, and if he doesn't, then the coach is going to have to be able to account for it.
Yep. And you brought up something when this all started, JJ, that was very interesting. Tebow's 3 games away from his pension?
Yeah, that's what I brought up. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, it's just the prototypical tight end these days. It's turning into like a hybrid receiver. I mean, look at Kyle Pitts, 6'6", 245, but still runs a 40 and 4.4. I mean, big, strong, athletic, and corners are going to have a hard time, covering him, and that's kind of where the position is trending to these days. It's not the old in the trench type blocking tight end like Todd Christensen used to be, or even Jason Witten ended up being, because he was extremely slow towards the end. And I just think it's I don't know. I'd be interested to see if he makes an opening day roster, because I think Urban Meyer, and you're right, it's just going to be the way he delivers it, because if he says, I did it because I'm the boss and that's that, then it's not going to go over too well. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for taking my call this morning, guys. Take care.
All right, Howard, appreciate the phone call. You got it in 2460610. And that's the thing, too, with Tebow, is he's not, he's a good athlete, but he's not going to wow you. And I think people, for some reason, are kind of misremembering how fast he was. Tebow is going to have to be one of those in the trenches, dude. And you've played football, but even being a power running quarterback, that's a little bit different than having to set the edge when there's a defensive end or outside linebacker coming downhill at you.
Yeah, and the fundamentals of playing that position, it falls on the position coach, and the position coach is coming from college. He's never coached in the NFL, and so it's a different dynamic when you're coaching defensive ends in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see how that all meshes. They've got George Warhop there. I know George pretty well, so it'll be interesting to see how he meshes him in with the blocking schemes, and he's going to have to block, and that's, people keep thinking, okay, they're just going to put him at H, he's going to move, and they're just going to throw in passes all the time. Well, that's not going to be the case. He's going to have to, they change that defense, or somebody comes off the edge, he's going to have to put his face on somebody.
And I know a lot of people immediately go, well, there's a Taysom Hill in this league, and yes, there is. And Taysom Hill's that guy, but there's only one of those guys right now that actually has that athleticism where he's playing special teams. He's running, and by the way, Taysom Hill running a 4.40.
Yes,
he's got a little bit more burst on him than even Tim Tebow does. So we shall see how this plays out. Speaking of playing out, one player atop the leaderboard right now at the PGA Championship in Kauai Island, there in South Carolina. Brandon Grace is 4 under overall, 2 under today. Still a pack of 6 players behind him at 3 under. Brooks Koepka has yet to take the course. He is the big name in that pack. Early leader yesterday, Corey Connors, is 3 over par today through 11 holes. He's down to 2 under. Mentioned, Phil Mickelson at one point in time was all the way up to 3 under par. He's back down to even in a group with Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, and a ton of other golfers, including Bubba Watson, Bryson DeChambeau, which we'll tee off later. But PGA Championship, Brandon Grace, one stroke ahead of everyone early in the second round. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Come back on the other side. The good Russell Westbrook last night.
Walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff. One scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough. Back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network. Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
steal coming in. Can she get the points?
As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West. Puts it up on the layup. Scores.
Especially the team like Navajo Prep with so many weapons.
3 to beat the horn. Yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover. Henderson in transition. Going to slam it home. Gonzalez going to leave it for Hasbury. Send it in! We get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline. She's going to heave it from half court for the win!
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for
Shushan, voice of the Isotopes, is going to join us. Kicked off a 6-game series against the Dodgers last night. 8-4 victory for the Isotopes. Kyle Freeland rehabbing Colorado Rockies starter on the mound. You saw Carlos Estevez as well, bullpen arm from the Rockies. And reports are you could potentially see Cody Bellinger in town this weekend on his rehab stint for the Dodgers. So you get a little bit of everything. You're going to get the atmosphere, you're going to get the Topes, you're going to get some big leaguers. That's what minor league baseball is all about. JJ Buck, Ned James, Bobcat with you. Quan's Auto Care Hotline 2460610. Bruin James, what's up, man? What do you got?
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you guys were talking about Tim Tebow this morning, and I wanted to chime in a little bit. And I really, Tim Tebow, he was a quarterback, right? Couldn't read coverages, but he could run the ball. Big guy, didn't make it as a quarterback. Went and played baseball, and then now he's tight end for Jacksonville. All right, well, that's all good. I mean, he's chasing his dream, and I got nothing against that. But what about him taking somebody's spot on the roster that deserves it, but yet they're going to give it to him because he's Tim Tebow? You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, Bruin James, and that's a sentiment a lot of people have about this situation, and that will be the case if he makes the 53-man roster. Right now, training camp workouts, invites, it works. The challenge will become when you get to that cut-down point. Does he make that official roster? We shall see. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Josh Shushan, voice of the Isotopes. So much to get to with him. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs
to be replaced. We're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
4 win for the Isotopes last night over the Oklahoma City Dodgers to begin their 6-game series. A great weekend on deck. We got rehabbing big leaguers, fireworks, everything you want from minor league baseball. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck joined by Ned James this morning. Bob Camp producing, of course, J Pole on ProView Networks. We can watch the show Monday through Friday, Comcast Channel 26, or wherever you like to stream your shows, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. We got you covered there as well. It's good to have baseball back, and it is great to have our friend Josh Shushan back on The Sports Animal. And Josh joins us now. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I am wonderful. Thanks for inviting me onto your award-winning show. I like that new promo a lot. I don't know how new it is. It's new to me. I like that promo a lot.
Not too bad. Every once in a while, you try to pat yourself on the back. But first off, Josh, it is wonderful to talk to you again. Hear you back on The Sports Animal. Last year, I know it was crazy for everyone. So what's it like to just be back in the ballpark now?
Fun, exhilarating. It's just, it's like, I said a lot of times I didn't need the pandemic to remind me how lucky I was to have the job that I have. That's all I've ever wanted to do since as long as I can remember is just call baseball games. And so I've always known how fortunate I was and how much I love my job, and it gets taken away. And, you always knew that it was eventually going to come back. You didn't know what it was going to look like or how different it was going to be. But it's just been, I'm happy for everyone. I'm happy for the players who spent, over a year just trying to find a way to keep their bodies in shape and not be able to play. And I'm excited for our fans, and I'm excited for our ushers and for, Francina, a public address announcer, for everyone that we just to go back. You become like this family for the summer with everyone in the press box or on the field or in the community. And so it's just fun to be able to hang out with your baseball family again.
I definitely concur with that sentiment. And what you have this weekend is a little bit of everything. You start last night, get Kyle Freeland on the mound, rehabbing his strained shoulder. The Rockies are hoping it's going to be a big part of their rotation once he gets back. Saw a little Carlos Estevez coming out of the pen. What'd you make of the rehabbers last night?
Yeah, it was a major league feel to it. Freeland looked fantastic. He was just attacking the strike zone. He got a bunch of quick outs. I feel like almost every inning was 12 pitches or so. Estevez's fastball was pumping 97. He looked good. So I think that's a really good sign for the Rockies that those two guys are heading back to the major leagues. That's a good sign for the Isotopes because that means the two major leaguers are coming back onto our roster. So, it was fun, and now we're going to get a whole bunch more of them. Oklahoma City's going to say, all right, we see your Kyle Freeland, and we raise you a Cody Bellinger starting tonight, it sounds like.
Josh, Ned James here. Yeah, the Cody Bellinger thing, it's going to be exciting. How difficult will it be to get a ticket this weekend with Cody Bellinger coming into town?
For tonight, there's actually still lots of tickets available.
Oh.
Saturday, it's going to be a challenge. Now, the Isotopes have never had a, quote, sellout. We've never announced a sellout in our history. We've had up to just under 17,000 with the berm and sitting room only. You can get a lot of people in there. But because we're still limited at 75% capacity, Saturday will be a challenge. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't get tickets. It's just like you're not going to be able to get a lot of them. You may not be able to sit where you'd like to sit. But tonight, you can get tickets. Sunday afternoon, you can get tickets. I don't know how long Bellinger's rehab is going to last. I don't know if it's going to go on until Monday, but Monday and Tuesday will also not be a problem as well. So especially tonight, and again, we don't know 100% that Bellinger is going to be playing today. That's what we've That's what we've read. As soon as we know for sure that he's in the lineup, once we see it, trust me, we're going to get the word out as much as we can. But that's what we have been led to believe by the Dodgers.
Talking with Josh Shushan, voice of the Isotopes, right here on The Sports Animal. And Josh, you know the minor leagues, that's what we see. Guys, whether it's prospects working their way up, guys that have kind of that quad A player, or rehabbers coming down. What kind of, does it affect the locker room at all when you have a player of this caliber come in? You know, I remember, Manny Ramirez back in the day, kind of the show that was for the weekend when he was rehabbing. What's it like in the locker room itself with these guys when a big-time name comes down?
Well, I think Manny was just in an entirely different category because that was just a circus. The steroid suspension and everything else. But number one, when a rehabbing guy comes in, it's good because it's a great tradition. They pay for the post-game spread. And I don't know how things are differently now with COVID in terms of what the post-game spread is, but it's one of the great traditions. And it's basically a thank you for, hey, thanks for letting me crash your party. Thanks for allowing me to get these at-bats or allow me to get these innings. And here's food as a thank you. So that's great. I think that there's a lot of things that minor leaguers can watch that major leaguer and learn from. If you're a guy like Ryan Rollison, top Rockies pitching prospect, he's going to make his AAA debut tomorrow night. He's very similar to Freeland. Their stuff, their size, their demeanor, their background. I think that Rollison probably learned a lot just being able to watch Freeland up close and see the way that he attacks hitters, to see the way that he mentally prepares for the game, the way that he physically prepares for the game. And then there's also just the sense of, hey, let me compare myself. If you're one of the Oklahoma City Dodgers hitters last night, okay, let me compare. This is what it's like to face a bona fide major leaguer who finished fourth in Cy Young voting a few years ago. And, for Ryan Rollison when he's pitching on Saturday, for Ryan Castellani when he's pitching tonight, it's not Pete Cody Bellinger 100% because he's still getting the rust off. But, hey, this is how my stuff stacks up against a former MVP. I mean, it's just awesome all the way around.
That does sound great. The game tonight, what are your expectations for our Isotopes tonight in tonight's game?
Well, I like the way they've swung the bats the last couple of games. Tuesday in El Paso and last night, they've had some injuries. They've had some guys who were in the major leagues that have come back down. And now I think that we're starting to see what this lineup can potentially do. And so I think that's really exciting and promising because it was looking pretty bleak there for a while with the amount of with the few hits and runs that we were getting. As far as facing Bellinger, normally when someone starts a rehab assignment, they don't play all 9 innings. You can look at Brendan Rodgers as a guide. Brendan Rodgers played 5 innings, then he played 7 innings, then he was used as a pinch hitter, and then he went back-to-back games in which he played all 9 innings. I have no idea what the plan is for Cody Bellinger, but also Zach McKinstry is also starting a rehab stint for Oklahoma City. At least we're under the impression that he's going to be starting that tonight. So I think there's just going to be a lot of interesting storylines, and so it should be really fun tonight.
Talking with Josh Shushan, voice of the Isotopes. You join us here on the opening drive. And Josh, you look at the Taupe skid. We talked with Warren Schaefer on Wednesday. He's like, hey, if this would have happened middle of June, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal when you're playing a long season. But when you start out that way, it's what kind of caught everyone's attention.
Yeah, 1 in 10 is not good. And while I love Warren, and he's kind of right. At the same time, you lose 10 out of 11 games in any month. You're paying attention. At least I'm going to notice, right? Yeah. And it wasn't just that they were losing. It's, you get shut out. You score 1 run. You score 2 runs. And the offense just looked really lifeless. But again, you think about the number of players who we thought were going to be in the lineup. Colton Welker suspended 80 games because he tested positive for something. Connor Joe in the major leagues. We thought maybe we'd have Matt Adams. He's in the major leagues. And then Taylor Motter, a veteran guy who you thought was going to be in the middle of the lineup, he missed all 6 games in El Paso because he was hurt. I mean, that's anywhere between 2 to 5 guys who you thought were going to be in the lineup, and they weren't there because of one reason or another. And so now you get Motter back. Alan Trejo comes back down from the major leagues. The lineup just feels a whole lot different, and now you've got more guys who are swinging the bat as well, and so there's just a lot more threats in the lineup now.
Josh, we've seen 6 no-hitters in Major League Baseball so far. Now, 4 of those, 2 were against the Mariners, 2 against the Rangers. Is this just a convergence of kind of all the factors we've seen over the last few years in the game of baseball, like peaking when it comes to the 3 true outcomes versus what pitchers are doing, or is it something else?
I think a lot of it is that. I think the number one thing is it's just hard to get a hit in Major League Baseball right now. I haven't checked it in recent days, but I know that the league-wide average has been somewhere in the 232, 233 range. I mean, there's just not a lot of hits. So you get a pitcher who's rolling, who's striking out a lot of batters, and you're going to see the no-hitters continue to pile up this year. The 3 true outcomes is a factor. Look, it's so hard to put together 3 singles in one inning that the easiest way to score is to try and hit a home run. And that leads to a lot of swinging and missing. That leads to a lot of fly ball outs since the ball is not carrying as much as it did 2 years ago. And so the confluence of all of those factors is leading to these no-hitters. And I think there's also something that gets in the mind of a pitcher where, hey, I saw this guy do it last night. I saw this guy do it 2 nights ago. It can be done. And so, you see it, you visualize it, and you think, I want to be the guy. And pitch counts are lower now because guys are swinging earlier in at-bats to try to ambush, get a first pitch fastball headed out of the ballpark. And I think that we're going to continue to see a bunch more no-hitters. And I don't mind. Look, I like offense. I like pitchers' duels. No-hitters are fun. The drama in the 9th inning of a no-hitter is electric no matter who the teams are, no matter what the records are. When a guy's got a no-hitter in the 9th inning, it is so much fun at the ballpark. The drama's great in the 7th and the 8th. It just keeps building and building. When everyone looks up at that scoreboard and sees the 0 on hits. Shoot, last night, Kyle Freeland hadn't given up a hit into the 5th inning, and you start to think, is he going to throw a no-hitter on his rehab stint? Well, he's not going to go the distance, but is there going to be a combined no-hitter that Kyle Freeland starts on a rehab assignment? It's really electric and fun.
Josh, one of the things, I hate to be the downer on all this, but right now, how much of an impact will the COVID pandemic have on hitters this year? I think as far as the no-hitters are concerned, and also moving forward, are there still protocols in place? Are we still seeing some of the residual effects of the pandemic with the minor league teams as well as the major league teams?
Yeah, I mean, look, me and our PR staff and everyone, we're not allowed to be around the players. We're not allowed on the field during batting practice. We're not allowed in the dugouts. We're not allowed in the clubhouse, batting cages, pretty much any place that the players go, we are not allowed to be. And so that's number one. Once a team has reached, I think it's 85% vaccine percentage on the team, then that loosens up the restrictions in terms of what they have to do in clubhouses and mask wearing and things like that. When they're on the field, they don't have to wear masks. But in terms of where they can go, where they're supposed to go, that continues. We had, an issue with the Padres where they lost 2 of their best players because they tested positive, and then 3 more players because of contact tracing had to miss about a week. We had a situation with the Yankees where just about their entire coaching staff tested positive. And so at this point, it becomes a competitive disadvantage for teams if they do not reach the vaccination rate. And I know the Chicago Cubs general manager, Jed Hoyer, he has been very frustrated that not enough of his players and staff want to get the vaccine, and he doesn't think that they're ever going to reach it. And he doesn't want to force people to do something, but he feels that it's a competitive disadvantage. If one guy tests positive and you got a bunch of guys on your team that have not received the vaccine, then you're going to have a lot more guys who are going to have to go out because of contact tracing. Whereas if you've reached that threshold where if just about your entire team has gotten the vaccine, then it's just that one person who has to sit out and nobody else does. So I think it's going to continue to be a factor, but certainly not at all like it was last year.
Well, 5 games left against OKC. The Dodgers are in town. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. We got big leaguers. We got fireworks. We got baseball back at the ballpark. And, of course, Josh Shushan with you right here on The Sports Animal. Josh, my friend, it's great to talk to you once again. I can't wait to see you out there at the ballpark. And thanks for the time this morning.
Absolutely. My pleasure, guys. Good to talk to you, Ned.
Yeah.
Hope we can all see each other in person sometime soon. Hope you guys can make it to the park this weekend.
Absolutely, Josh. Appreciate the time. Thank you so much, my friend. He's with you tonight here on The Sports Animal. And Oklahoma City. And then, of course, the crossover. And he'll join Mike Trujillo and Mike Carlisle at 6 o'clock, leading into our Soaps coverage here on The Sports Animal. Speaking of the series against the OKC Dodgers, caller number 6, 246-0610, or 1-888-922-0610. Caller number 6 will have a 4-pack of tickets for you for Monday's game. So these tickets will be for Monday 24th, Topes OKC, 6:35 first pitch out there at Ice Topes Park. A 4-pack of tickets to caller number 6-246-0610. Be ready. You're going to have your email address ready for Bob because the tickets will be transferred to you via the email. So caller number 6-246-0610. Bob will answer, get your email, and get you hooked up for Monday's Isotopes game. 246-0610. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
There's only one road.
And ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side where you can watch the show worldwide on ProView Network.
Steal coming in. Can she get the points?
As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West, puts it up on the layup, scores.
Especially the team like Naval Prep with so many weapons.
3 to beat the horn, yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover, Henderson in transition, gonna slam it home. Gonzalez going to leave it for Hasbury. Send it in. Get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline. She's going to heave it from half court for the
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable!
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile.
The 4-pack is gone. Thank you to all those that were listening but then called in. Bob has given away the tickets. And we will have more Ice Hopes tickets throughout the season. It feels great to be back to that moment where we can actually give out tickets. We can go to the ballpark and see the Topes, especially this weekend with the Dodgers in town. Cody Bellinger coming back from his a slight fracture in the left leg. You heard Josh talk about Zach McKinstry, another outfielder for the Dodgers that will be here in town. But the Rockies as well have some guys getting back to it. Kyle Freeland was fantastic last night. And that's the beauty of minor league baseball is you get these moments or the big leaguers coming down to get their work in with the top prospects still battling. And it's still you're out at the ballpark. You got some fireworks tomorrow night. That's what it's all about.
Yes. It's spring/summertime. So this is when you get to wear your loose-fitting clothes and your shorts and all that fun stuff. In New Mexico, be careful. Keep your knees bent and your head on a swivel because the weather may change.
Absolutely.
So, but indications from this weekend, it's going to be warm. So you get to bust out your summer look. Even though we don't have our summer bodies yet, keep working on those.
Check out F45. They'll help you get that summer body. JJ Buck, Ned James, Bob Camp producing. That is Mr. Brown on the ProView side. Just poof, magically, Jay Pohl to Jay Brown over there. You can watch us, of course, on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26, streaming, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I always repost the ProView Networks feed on our Facebook page, facebook.com/the OD and the AM. But guess what? Just follow ProView Networks to see all the videos, top 10 plays, get an update on the schedule because, yes, it's slowed down a bit, but we still got softball, got high school baseball, so much more. Always got you covered on ProView Networks. 2460610 is Equan's Auto Care hotline. Tommy, what do you got for us today?
Hey, what's up, guys? Tommy the Truth back at you. Hi, Ned. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Tommy?
Good. I think I heard you guys talking a little bit earlier about Westbrook, and the thing about him, and this is just my opinion, of course, you guys can say how you feel about this as well. I've always thought he's a great player, great scorer, but like Carmelo Anthony, but he's not the type of guy to me to elevate the team to win. He does. He's out there scoring and doing the necessary things to be a great all-around player, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but is he going to win an NBA championship? I think with Harden coming over from Houston over to the Nets, I see his play is different. He is playing all-around basketball, getting rebounds, assists, not just scoring like he did with Houston. I used to say the same thing about him. He's finally figured it out. But I think in any sport, there's certain players, football, I always say Brady elevates. Aaron Rodgers doesn't elevate people to be better around him. Baseball, Derek Jeter, my Yankees, elevated. A-Rod didn't elevate. He just doesn't, he's not that type of guy. I just feel that there's certain players that will elevate people and certain players that kind of just play for themselves. Back in the day, Karl Malone, I thought he was a great player, but I never thought he elevated other people to be better around him. The NBA today, to me, is just shooting and going back and letting the other person shoot. There's really not a lot of defense. Maybe we'll get a little bit more better in the playoffs, but I just hate guys going up, shoot, and then they just let the other team shoot two-pointers too. It's kind of like I miss the 90s way of playing basketball, but I guess that's dead. And I want to get you guys' opinions on that. And then one football question, especially for Ned. Will Tim Tebow make the Jacksonville roster? And I'll hang up and get you guys' opinion.
Thanks, Tommy.
Okay. I think Tim Tebow will make the roster. He's going to have to play some special teams. I think they'll try to fit him in at several different positions, but I think he will at some point find a way to make that roster because I think the coach wants him to be on the team. And so if that's the case, I mean, they're going to bump a rookie or they'll bump somebody and, they'll try to keep his salary where they can afford him because that's another thing Urban Meyer's going to have to learn. He's going to have to learn that there's a salary cap and there's certain players you can keep and certain players you can't keep based on how many years they've played in the league.
So his point on Russell Westbrook is correct. I do think there's an element to Russ's game. People feel that, he's just all about himself. However, last night we saw good Russell Westbrook. This was a Westbrook that was elevating people, wasn't forcing too many shots because he was in attack mode.
Just attack. I wasn't myself last game, but, my job is to make sure I'm in attack mode, find a ways to keep my teammates involved, bring our energy. And tonight I did a better job of that.
No, it was against the depleted Indiana Pacers. However, it got them to the playoffs, the Wizards. And they're a team that could have easily rolled over this season, and they didn't. And that's what Russell Westbrook brings to the table. And that's what I like about Russ. Sure, there's elements of his game that aren't always great. He's not the most efficient player. So I think, like last night, it was perfect. He only took 1 3-point shot. He was efficient from the field. That's good, Russ. It's attack the basket. Don't settle for jumpers. He's going to set up his opponents, and he's going to bring the effort from start to finish. And I think that's really good about him. And that's why I do like Russell Westbrook so much, because when he plays like that, he elevates himself above even a Carmelo Anthony, because I don't think Anthony had that impact on both ends of the floor like Russell can have. And now you're going against Philadelphia. I think they steal a game, but I like the 76ers, the 1 over the 8 in 5 games. But it's just all the things we look for from athletes, and everything, as fans now kind of sit back and go back and forth, what matters, this or that. Well, he hasn't won a championship, so how good is he really? Well, we still look for, do you care? Because sometimes it's the old school versus new school, right? There's he's too nice, he's too happy, the superstar teams. Well, Russell Westbrook's just a dude that wants to play and attack. Yeah. And he brings that mentality. I like it. Last night we saw the best of Russ, and if he plays like that, yeah, they can get a game. But it's more so just him continuing to just push back on the narrative that so many people have about Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and, the guy's got the energy. The other guy's got to bring the energy along with him. He's a high-energy guy, and some guys are California cool, and he's not California cool, even though he's from California. He plays with a tenacity and an energy that, I don't think anybody in that league really can rival, but he, for some reason, gets this reputation for being just a selfish player that no one could play with, that I think it's unfair, and I think, it's just, people like to find something wrong with every little thing, so,
They do, and I think a lot of it, too, goes back to Kevin Durant. And for some reason, Kevin doesn't give Russ a lot of credit. Kevin doesn't speak highly of Russell Westbrook in those years together, because, by the way, they were both on the floor when they blew a 3-1 series lead to the Golden State Warriors. It just wasn't Russell Westbrook not playing well. Kevin Durant was there. And then who joined the Warriors after that season? It was Kevin Durant, who stuck around and won an MVP in Oklahoma City. It was Russell Westbrook. So I think that does carry over as well sometimes in just the overall narrative. Now, yeah, they're still the 8th seed. They're a team that's below 500. But I'm all in watching Russell Westbrook play like that with Bradley Beal. I think they'll have their moments. It'll be fun. But Joel Embiid and the 76ers, they're the 1 seed. And speaking about pressure, and we're looking at the postseason starting tomorrow, Joel Embiid, all right, you dealt with injuries this year. You still are a finalist for the MVP, playing only 50 games in the season. You got the cakewalk. You look at that side of the bracket in the Eastern Conference. They either get the Knicks or Hawks in the second round. And then they'll have to see probably Brooklyn or Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. So Embiid, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
Step up, 1 seed.
Yeah, you're the man now, so you got to show that you are the man. You're up for the MVP, and so if he can't get it figured out this time around, I don't know if Embiid's going to ever get one of these championships, because this is the year for him, I think.
It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Taking your calls, 2460610. You can email the show, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. Find me on the Twitter, _JJBuck. He's Ned James. I'm JJ Buck. That's Bobcat. Got Mr. Brown on ProView. OD here on The Sports Animal.
As summer gets hotter, so they're at home. Things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1.
The wide shot of our beautiful studio. They remodeled, but maybe not quite in here. It's opening drive. JJ Buck, Ned James with you. The iPad died. What can you do? It lasted 2.5 hours. It's done. I
forgot to charge it. My bad. My bad, ProView.
We appreciate Ned joining us this morning. Bobcat taking your calls 246-0610. NBA playoffs begin tomorrow. Still have one playing game left. MVP finalist Steph Curry and the Warriors taking on Memphis tonight. Looking forward to that contest because the Grizzlies, I love that backcourt. I do. John Morant, Dylan Brooks. Yeah. But Steph is absolutely on a different level. And even before the Lakers-Warriors game, I think most people said, all right, it's going to be the Warriors and Lakers that make it in. Probably the Lakers that win that first game, but the Warriors will beat Memphis or San Antonio to get to the 8th seed. And the question is, what does Donovan Mitchell look like this weekend? The Utah Jazz are the better basketball team. But without Donovan Mitchell, it leaves the door open just a little bit. Because Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, Bogdanovich, Joe Ingles, only take you so far.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell's not there.
Yeah, and, that's going to be key for them. I don't know what the nature of his injury is or what it will be going forward. That's going to be.
It was an ankle sprain. It cost him the last 16 games.
Those high ankle sprays are brutal. And that's why, modern medicine, ergogenic aids, injections, those things work. I mean, a lot of guys get those as the years go on, and as the injuries pile up, guys put their bodies through a lot to make sure they're able to do their jobs. And so we saw it with LeBron James. I'm sure he took an injection for that ankle because those high ankle sprays are tougher than a break. A lot of times, those ligaments, it takes them a while to heal, and especially as you get older. I'm finding out as I get older, I don't even have to have a sprain, and it takes me a while to heal.
Those years of playing football. Yeah. 246-0610, Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Ray, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Ray?
Good morning, guys.
Good
morning. A great day. Hey, a couple of things. Russell Westbrook, unless you're an NBA junkie, you really don't know much about him, or you can't or root for him because he just wasn't on TV enough. He played in low market areas, and it's just one of those. Hey, great, that's good for him. Another thing, LeBron James. I've been a Laker fan. I'm 66 years old now, and I've been a Laker fan for years. and he takes himself out of the game, crucial games. And, MJ never did that. Kobe never did that. Magic never did that. So, to me, it's just really hard to root for the guy. Yeah, he makes the Lakers a better team, but he, like Guy was saying earlier, he doesn't elevate people to a higher standard. And last thing, what can we do to get the Dodger AAA affiliate back to Albuquerque? I cannot stand these Rockies.
He's like me. I'm a Dodger fan.
Well, you got to tell the Dodgers to sell Oklahoma City because they bought that franchise and then buy the Isotopes.
Well, we got to go tell them that we want them. I mean, they were here for, 30 years? And it's just, I haven't been to the ballpark maybe twice since the Rockies took over. I just have no interest in it. I'd love to go see the AAA Dodgers, especially with Bellinger and McKinstry playing, so I might do that. But I just have no interest in the Isotopes.
Well, Ray, that's not going to change. Because
he's just like me, JJ. He's the old guy. Give us old guys a break. I'm not old Dodger. You're a Colorado fan, so I understand.
I'm a Padres fan this year. If you haven't noticed, yeah.
But traditionally,
the Rockies don't deserve support.
He said that he wants the Albuquerque Dukes back here.
That's what built baseball tradition in the city. Absolutely, the Dodgers and Dukes connection. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
you're never going to see that again.
I know.
In minor league baseball, what the Dukes had come through, then going to the Dodgers, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Dodgers wanted to own their AAA franchise, and so they bought Oklahoma City. So the Dodgers own OKC.
Yeah.
Ken Young owns the Isotopes. Ken Young and his ownership group own the Isotopes. The Rockies don't own them. They have a minor league affiliation agreement. So the Dodgers aren't coming back to town.
No, they're not coming back.
Sorry.
So
you're just going to have to see them this weekend.
Yeah.
OKC Dodgers.
Yeah. And cheer for the opposing team and watch everybody hate you in the Duke Stadium.
Now, I will say the one thing with LeBron James, you cannot say he doesn't elevate people. That is his whole thing. That's what people actually use to bash LeBron James, is he doesn't do enough like a Kobe or an MJ, is he passes too much. Have you seen some of the teams he took to the NBA Finals?
Especially when he was
Cleveland Cavaliers teams.
Yeah, when he was younger, yeah.
So the one thing LeBron does do is elevate whatever team he is on. Does he rub people the wrong way? Absolutely. There's really no in between when it comes to LeBron James and the feeling. You either dislike him or you're all in on him. And it goes right back to that moment the other night. He got poked in the eye, and he acted like his head fell off. And I knew it. I was like, LeBron, you best stand up.
He was trying to match Kobe Bryant's Academy Award.
He was milking it. But I knew, I was like, man, tomorrow it's going to be all about LeBron being on the floor too long. But that's just the type of person he is in the game.
Yeah.
He either does something that, and it goes back to, because we were having this conversation yesterday, and Jeff was like, man, does LeBron enjoy playing basketball? Is he ever happy? And I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
Like, this is the crazy thing. Like, there's few and far between superstars up there. Because then I would say, the counterpoint would be, well, if he was smiling, y'all would say he didn't care enough. Like, you didn't see Michael Jordan or Kobe smiling in those situations.
Right.
It's just LeBron.
Right.
Like, that's the way it is with him.
You're right. It's us old guys, man. We want the old times coming back. We want guys to be like they were when we were growing up playing and watching sports. LeBron is just a unique guy. He's the Muhammad Ali of this time. He takes part in social justice issues. He's very outspoken. A lot of old people don't like that. We don't want our young people talking. We want our young people listening to us. We don't want them having an opinion. We want them to have our opinion. And that kind of rubs people the wrong way with LeBron, and always has. And I think LeBron is great. I think he's a new generation that us old folks just have to get used to.
Lenny, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Lenny?
Good morning. Well, I didn't know you were a Padre fan, so I'll give you a little hats off on that one.
Just for this season.
Why only for this season?
It's backlash for the terrible management of Nolan Arenado. I get it. You want to trade a superstar? Fantastic. Don't pay a team $50 million to take your best player as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then you know what my nightmare was with the Knicks before this season with James Dolan.
What's up, man?
So So the other day I told you that the Hawks will beat the Knicks, but since the Knicks now are going to have 15,000 in the stands, I'll go with the Knicks 4-3.
Oh, you flip-flopped, Lenny.
No, wait a second. You've been to the Garden, haven't you?
I'm just teasing you. What's that?
So when you come into the Garden and you see that many fans, that's your sixth man right there.
Yeah. I think it's for all the teams that way.
Right, but the Knicks have the most fans for the playoffs for the rest of the season, or at least for the first couple of rounds.
That's great.
So I'll go with that, and I'll go 4-3. I flip-flop, but, my bet isn't made until the day before. So we'll go with that. And then Phoenix and L.A., I'm going to go with Phoenix in 6.
Ooh.
The lack of continuity with the Lakers from not them playing together for injuries, and the physical shape of LeBron and AD may be their downfall. Then you have Montrezl Harrell, who's a negative on defense, and we don't know the point guard situation. And Caruso is on and off for too many nights to be consistent for a whole series.
Not to interrupt you, Lenny, but the one thing I give the Lakers the edge in, coaching. But go ahead. That may not make a difference.
Coaching, and if Davis is playing well, maybe rebounding, because we'll see how Ayton stands up to him. And then the other series is Portland and Denver. And that one's going to be a good one, too. And I'm actually going to go with Portland.
I think a lot of people are going to be on the Trailblazers this series for sure. Lenny, I want to get one more in before the break, but appreciate the phone call. Go to break. We're going to go to break. I got yelled at by Bob. We're going to go to break. If you're on the line, stay there. We'll wrap it all up on the other side. Our final thoughts this morning with a fantastic weekend on deck. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
the steal coming in. Can she get the point? As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West. Puts it up on the layup. Scores.
Especially the team like Navajo Prep with so many weapons.
3 to beat the horn. Yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover. Henderson in transition. Going to slam it home. Gonzalez going to leave it for Hasbury. Send it in. We get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline. She's going to heave it from half court for the
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own.
Albert Pujols has hit his first home run as a Dodger.
KLAC on the call. It is the week of Albert Pujols. Somehow, some way, this is working for the Dodgers, getting every last ounce out of Albert Pujols. They were victorious 3-2 over Arizona last night, and they're starting to get healthy. Of course, Cody Bellinger should be in town this weekend, rehabbing for the Dodgers. Zach McKinstry, an outfielder who came up, had a really good start to the season, filling some holes. They're going to be fine. And that's the thing with the Dodgers. They could have 800 people on the injured list, and somehow, some way, they're still going to be in it just because of their organizational depth right now. Yeah, the Giants are unbelievable. We got to give San Francisco Giants some credit. They started the season, they're 28-16. But still only a game up on the Padres, 2 games up on the Dodgers. And those 2 teams in the dog days of summer will catch the San Francisco Giants.
I don't know. But maybe we'll see. We'll see. The Dodgers, they don't have Kiki Hernandez and Jock Peterson anymore, which were 2 quality players, and so I don't know if they can replace that in that lineup. But we'll see.
Well, you still got Max Muncy and Justin Turner and Mookie Betts, and Gavin Lux is coming up, and Chris Taylor can be that versatility guy. Will Smith is a call. The Dodgers have an embarrassment of riches. He's Ned James. I'm JJ Buck Bobcat, taking your calls 246-0610. John, you're on the opening drive. What's up, John?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good, man. What's up?
Good. I just want to make a comment. Well, since you brought up LeBron James, he just doesn't feel like a Laker. I don't know. It's just weird. It's not like back in the old days. I'm an old guy, old school. And LeBron has this kind of attitude, and maybe he just came around at the wrong time. If he would have preceded Magic or maybe even the great Laker teams of the 70s, we could appreciate him more. But he has a lot to live up to because of the great players that were before him. And he just got this air, this attitude. I don't particularly care for him. He's a great talent, great big body, and I'd probably sign him over Tim Tebow to play tight end for the Jaguars. But it's just something about LeBron that rubs people the wrong way. Further, about the Dodgers, my uncle pitched for the Albuquerque Dukes back in the 40s and 50s, and they've been affiliated with the Dodgers since all the way back then. And I remember going to the ballpark at Tingley Field, which is what used to be right across the street, the way from the zoo, and watching Wes Parker, Bill Singer, Claudio Steen, Don Sutton, a lot of the great Dodgers of all time, Don Drysdale, coming through Albuquerque, and they were affiliated with the with the Dodgers then, and then they changed their name from the Dodgers, from the Dukes to the Albuquerque Dodgers when they went to the Albuquerque Sports Stadium. So they were the Albuquerque Dodgers for quite a long time, and then they changed back to the Dukes, and then, of course, we lost them because of the stadium issue back when Mayor Baca was the mayor of Albuquerque. So just a little history on that. And me, personally, I could care less about the Isotopes. I'm a Dodger fan since I was a little kid. There's nothing in it for me, and I really don't care whether they win or lose. And, of course, I'm not a Rockies fan. I just don't care, just like that other caller. But, it's nice to go to the ballpark every now and then, but it doesn't have the same appeal to me as a lifelong Dodger fan.
All right, John, appreciate the phone call. And it's understandable. When the Dodgers left, you knew it was going to be hard for people like John, others that they've invested in it. They're Dodger fans. They grew up with the Dodgers affiliate in town, and you have that special connection. And it's rare to have that in a minor league team. Yeah. It is, because most of the time
it's understandable, but it's a little bit of grumpy old men. Go out to the ballpark, enjoy some baseball.
They do a fantastic job.
They do a great job at the
It is not their fault. Colorado Rockies organization.
Buy a ticket to L.A. if you want to go see a Dodger game. Old guys complaining about where it used to be. I get it. I'm an old guy. I love the Dukes. I was here when I was in college. The Dukes were here. I grew up. I could walk to Dodger Stadium from my house, so I love the Dodgers. I understand the passion and the feel for the Dodgers.
It's different.
Come on, guys.
That is.
Come on, man.
Generations. I don't know how many are going to grow up diehard Rocky fans with the Albuquerque Isotopes because you know what worked? The Dodgers were winning.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are really good. And they also
don't give up on the Rockies, JJ. They'll come back.
I can't, man.
I see that. I know it's on your arm. But hey, they will rise.
I have my affinity. I love my
Rockies.
I love my Colorado teams. I grew up in Colorado, born in New Mexico, so yes, I'm still a New Mexico guy, y'all. Yeah. But I grew up in Colorado, and that's where my love for sport came from, was following those teams. So yeah, they're still there, but I'm not blindly going to drink the Kool-Aid and pop in the shots
not yet.
of the purple all the time. I'm going to have to be honest. And when ownership does something like they did with Nolan Arenado, boop, turn my attention somewhere else.
All it takes is one good season.
It does. To draw me right back in.
Yes.
I will fall hard for them again. But I got the Avalanche, so go Avs, go. Terry, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Terry?
Good morning, gentlemen. Now, Mr. James, I'm glad you joined the show. I told JJ I'd given you the nickname Nate the Hate because Ned, the Patriot despising antagonist, just doesn't quite roll off our tongues. But I digress. So maybe you may disagree with me because I'm an old man, get off the lawn. I am against the 17, soon-to-be 18-game NFL schedule. So, Dad, you might think that gives the Patriots an extra 2 games to cheat, but I just thought 16 games was the best. Dropping one preseason game really doesn't mean much because most of the regulars wouldn't be playing in that game anyway. So when they say we care about the health of the players, the one thing we know is they don't care about the health of the players. And I think it will shortchange guys like Gunnar Olszewski, which, again, my favorite player since I got to actually see him play live at Bemidji State, for making teams.
Hey, I've been to Bemidji State University. I've been up there, Bemidji.
Yeah, it's cold.
It is.
Yes, when my son coached there, the day he left, it was minus 19. Yeah. But, so from that standpoint, JJ, I'm glad you're better. After yesterday's show, at the end of the show, and the zone defense, I thought, oh, geez, were you going to be sitting on your back porch with a bottle of Jack going, oh, geez, the zone defense there. But I'm glad you came around to that. So, it just is, one of those things where I thought 16 games was good, and things move on. Last little thing, though. For the gentleman before, when I filled in as Bat Boy in '67, because I still have the paperwork, they were at Tingley Field, but they were the Dodgers at that time. They were the AA affiliate and became the Dukes later on. But you guys have a great weekend. Ned, love it when you join the crew. JJ, as always, you have a great weekend. Enjoy your family. You guys be safe. Take care.
I appreciate you, Terry. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, I was questioning myself at the end of the show yesterday. Like, do I actually know anything? I had no idea. Like, the NBA, outlawed zone defense. It's just like a part of basketball for me. You play a zone defense, you play man, you play a box and one, full court press. I didn't realize they're like, nope, you can't do it in this league. Got to man up.
That was my reasoning for making Shaq the greatest player of all time, because when they changed rules because of you, like Wilt Chamberlain, they had to change the size of the key. They changed the man-to-man rule because they had to pack it in on Shaq because he was just turning around and dunking on guys because you couldn't play zone. And so I thought, that's why I always thought, Shaq was one of the greatest players of all time. But that was my reasoning when they went from the man-to-man rule to the zone rule.
It blew my mind, but here we are. I understand you can play zone. Now a lot of people don't play zone, but it's a thing to have in your back pocket.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, because we talked a lot about baseball yesterday and adjusting the game. Like, are you overreacting to move the mound a foot back to outlaw a shift? We'll see. But Ned, appreciate you, man. Great to see you again. Thanks for having me. Bobcat, great work as always. Thank you so much. Jeff is back on Monday morning, so all those emails you sent him, he'll read them Monday. We got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd at 1 o'clock. Sports Bar, Carlisle and Trujillo jump on at 4 in the Isotopes Baseball. Josh Sushan as the Topes take on the OKC Dodgers. Pregame starts at 6:50. I want to thank Josh as well for joining us this morning. Always great to catch up with him. Of course, the ProView Networks crew all the way over there. Jay Pohl and Mr. Brown, good job this morning. Everybody, be safe. Have a great weekend. Meta World Peace and Love. We'll talk on Monday.
Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You're watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Steal coming in. Can she get the points? As Chris, tough shot, gets it to go.
West up with it. Nice move by West. Puts it up on the layup. Scores.
Especially the team like Naval Prep with so many weapons.
Three to beat the horn. Yes! Nothing but nylon at the... Turnover. Henderson in transition. Going to slam it home. Gonzalez going to leave it for Hasbury. Send it in. They get it into Chavez. Natalia across the timeline. She's going to heave it from half court for the
Oh! My goodness!
Chavez hits one from half court for the state championship. Wow. Unbelievable.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talk It Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.